what is up, everybody? Welcome to your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified on Wednesday night. Happy bye week, who all celebrate this week of kind of a light version of high school football, right? Not everybody's playing. If you played in week 0, you probably have a bye this week going into league play. But we still have a full slate of games. We still have enough teams playing. We will have a very special Friday night pep rally on Riverside TV. We will have Sports Weekly Live on IEMG. We will have all those things, although I would say maybe half the teams are playing. But when you look at the city of Riverside, the only team playing from Riverside is CSDR. Everyone else has a bye. When you look at San Bernardino, all the schools are playing this week. So it's kind of weird the way it stacks up. But a lot of teams have byes this week going into league play the following week in week number 6. So with that said, we're going to take a look at the past week number 4, preview week number 5, the great games that we do have. We're going to check in with Centennial head coach Matt Logan in just a moment. Of course, huge win against Mater Dei. And I asked Coach Logan, was that his biggest regular season victory in his career? We're going to talk to him about the Monarchs' victory and getting back to the playoffs and what kind of a playoff run the Huskies might be able to make. We're also going to check in with Ramona head coach Ken Mushinskie. Remember, the Rams last season went 10-0 during the regular season. They're already halfway home again this year. They are 5-0 to start the season before they get to River Valley League action. So we'll talk a lot of high school football. We're going to mix in some Riverside City College football. The Tigers, 2-2 right now, and coming off an overtime loss. Can they bounce back this Saturday against Palomar? Same case for San Bernardino Valley College. The Wolverines, 2-2, and coming off an overtime loss this past Saturday. So we'll talk some college football as well. But we got to start things off with the top dog of the Huskies, Matt Logan, the head football coach for Centennial. The Huskies 4-1 through non-league play. Huge win against Mater Dei, an overtime loss against Santa Margarita. But he says this is a pretty young team. And the team that you saw in week 0 is going to look a lot different from the team you see in week 10 because they are getting better from week to week, especially on the offensive side of the football. Here is Centennial head coach Matt Logan on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now joining us here on the Inland Sports Show during the bye week as they get ready for Big West play coming up right around the corner is the head coach of the Centennial Huskies, Matt Logan. And Coach, during a bye week, I mean, do you get to shut it down a little bit? Do you relax? Do you take your beautiful wife out to dinner? Like, what do you do during a bye week?
Yeah, she's already tired of me. I was home all weekend, so she wants to do it already. But yeah, it is time. It's time to kind of get caught up around, at least get caught up around the house and get some things done, and obviously spend some time with your family. So it's been a nice weekend.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are there certain, I don't know, say rules or stipulations during a bye week from the CIF saying, hey, you can only practice this much, you can't have pads or helmets? I mean, how does that work during the bye week?
It's helmets only.
Okay.
Helmets only. Yep.
And when you're playing well, I mean, I guess the bye week is always a good time to kind of refresh, get healthy, regroup. But, I mean, if you're playing well, would you rather just play through and be like, hey, man, keep our foot on the gas, let's keep this going?
I think it's like a 50-50 deal, and I think that for us, it's good. We are a little banged up. We haven't really lost anybody. I mean, we lost a running back, and he came back and he got hurt again Friday night, unfortunately. But other than that, everybody's, just got kind of nagging stuff. So it'll be a chance for them to recoup and recover and us to fine tune some stuff for us and then get ready for a short week the next week. It's kind of nice, I think, to have a Thursday game coming out of the bye. You don't have to wait as long to play.
Yeah, and you have that time, right, to prepare for them. It's not like you said; it's not a short week during the season where you have to play a game Friday night, short week with the next following week on a Thursday.
Yep.
Coach, I did want to ask you. So, at least in terms of the regular season, beating Mater Dei, would you say in your head coaching career at Centennial was that the biggest regular season victory that you've had?
Yeah, I haven't thought of it that way. That's interesting. It's definitely up there for sure. I'd have to think about that. We've beaten them in regular season before, like in the early to mid 2000s. So mid by the 10s or 15s, not total mid, but
yeah. I was just thinking I know you guys have had some battles with Norco, maybe with, league title implications and whatnot, but, all the hype with Mater Dei and being number one and, just how crazy the game was, going up big, and then they stormed back, and then that wild sequence at the end in the fourth quarter. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Coach has been around a while, but that might be his most significant, signature victory for regular season games, at least.
Everybody, like all my friends and family are saying, what a great high school game it was just to watch, regardless of the outcome. And it was just fun to watch. And, it was two talented teams. It was a heavyweight boxing match. It was great, and I'm glad we came out on top for once.
After a game like that, is it easy to go to bed? I mean, I'd assume the adrenaline is just running, you're probably up all night long.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And in this sport, in this game in particular, you get very short time because you got to get prepared for the next week's opponent, and that's, so you get it for about 24 hours to 48 hours, and then that's about it.
Well, Coach, let me ask you about some of your guys. Of course, we had Dominic Catalano, your quarterback, on right when the season was beginning. It's pretty cool following the footsteps of Anthony, who obviously did big things as the quarterback of the Huskies as well. But Dominic has literally been in the program since he was just a little guy on the sidelines. As the head coach, is it rewarding to see a kid like that come up, ball boy through the program and then get his shot and make the most of it? I mean, how many quarterbacks can say they beat Mater Dei, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. We were counting. I think we've had 8 ball boys come through the program now in all the years of coaching. So, including ball girl, my daughter. So, yeah, it's been kind of funny to see it. It's great to see it. It's just we call them legacy kids when they're dads, or I'm old enough now to have the sons playing for me, but when their brothers played for us and they continue to to come out and support and do that stuff, it's great. It's what high school football is about.
Yeah, and you got a McKinley on defense. I'm like, what year is this? Catalano and McKinley leading you guys to victory?
Yeah, exactly. It's a 10-year rewind.
Yeah, it sure feels like it. Coach, as you go into league play, give me an area, give me something where you feel like, hey, we've done it well, but we could be better, or we got to be better before we reach the playoffs.
Yeah, I think defensively we've played pretty consistent football all the way through. I think continue that. Special teams, we could be better for sure. And then offensively, we just have not been consistent. We have not put it together for 3 quarters. We'll play 2 quarters good and then 1 quarter bad, and it's just we have not been able to execute for 4 quarters. And that's where we got to improve. And it's kind of interesting because we were scrimmaging, Sierra Canyon, which has a really good football team, and I was kind of complaining that we weren't executing very well and stuff like that on the sidelines and the headsets. And my coach was like, "Coach, we've got one guy that played varsity football for us out there playing right now that had good experience last year." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, we're going to be a little bit of a growing process here. So even though we're not old, we still are, that we might be a little bit older, but we're still inexperienced. Mm-hmm. It's not like we got a bunch of sophomores out there, but you got juniors that didn't play much the year before, or kids that were on JV team last year, or a couple transfer kids too that are completely new to us, and still it takes that process a little bit time to work in."
So you feel like from week 0 to week 10, there should be an improvement, right? Like the Centennial team we see in the first week in November is going to probably look a lot different than what we saw maybe in August, right? If they're going to be growing and improving over the course of the season. Well,
yeah, for sure. That's the goal. You want to get better from 0 to 10, and that's why we play the preseason games we do to prepare us for our league, and then ultimately, that opener Division I, whatever you want to call it, that we got to go through to, the amazing teams that we play. It's pretty remarkable the level of talent that's in that division.
Now you had a great non-league schedule. Is it? I'm assuming it's still challenging to find teams to play you in that non-league schedule. Is that the case?
Yeah, it is, and without having to travel and spend an enormous amount of money to do that, that's what that's why you see a lot of our local private schools heading out of state, because it's just hard to find games, and I get it. I get why teams don't want to play them, but at the same time we welcome it, and that's why we're playing I think we played 3 private schools, or
yeah, Trinity League, Rancho Kook, and the team from Utah, right? So
yep.
So Coach, the goal is, right, to win a CIF championship, and of course you're probably going to run into maybe one of those Trinity League schools in the playoffs, down the road. What has impressed you about your team right now that gets you optimistic? Like, hey, you know what? We've got a good group. When we're playing well, when we're consistent, when we're playing well, like, we might have a special season. We can make a run at this.
Yeah, I think we do have that group. I think just because the fact that you know, we were down multiple times and nobody wavered. And the two games that, Mater Dei and Santa Margarita, things weren't going well, after they might have been going well. And they just didn't waver. They just kept fighting, battling, and, came up short in one game, and the other game obviously got it done when it counted. So it just shows you the type of character we have and the toughness we have. And those are my favorite teams to coach by far. You can have the most talented team, but if they don't want to play together and play, the ultimate team sport as a team the way it should be played, then that gets frustrating. So it's nobody's worried about how many catches they have, how many times they touch the ball. They just want to go out and compete and win and fight till the end. And that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah, I can't remember the year, the season, but I remember you made the guys earn the C, I think, on their helmet, right? They couldn't have the logo on until they earned it.
Yeah, we took it off in one of the preseason games because we didn't feel like our effort was there, and we had to earn it back. Yeah.
Not the case with this year's team, certainly for head coach Matt Logan. Coach, finally, just fill in the blanks to this sentence. In order for Centennial to win the league title and make a deep run to a CIF championship game, the Huskies must, and fill in the rest of the sentence for me.
Execute better on all three facets of the game. I know that's general, but we just have not done that together as a group yet, and we got to get to where we can play 4 quarters of sound, good execution football all the way through the game.
But that must be exciting, I guess, in a way that you guys are 4-1. You've beaten some really good teams, obviously, but you still haven't played to the best of your ability, right? I mean, you guys still haven't put your best game out there.
Right, exactly. The potential is a scary word, but the potential is there. But we got to go out and achieve it and get to that and earn that potential.
Well, Coach, I always appreciate chopping it up with you and talking football. Enjoy your bye week. I know hopefully you're going to be playing, well, gosh, deep into December. If it all goes right, and winning some championships, a league title, CIF, and all that kind of stuff. I know those are the goals for you guys. And congrats on the 4-1 start, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. That's Matt Logan, the head football coach for your Centennial Huskies here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Coach Logan, an all-time great coach and an all-time great guy. I always appreciate our conversations. And, yeah, it's kind of been a little up and down this non-league season, but anytime you beat the number 1 team in the nation like Mater Dei, things are going well. And the Huskies are probably only going to be better by the time they hit Week 10 going into the playoffs. So we'll see if they can cap off the season with a championship. We're big fans, Coach Logan. Hope you get it done this season. All right. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, I'm taking inventory of all the stuff we got. We're going to hear from Ken Mushinskie, the head football coach at Ram High. The Rams are 5-0 in non-league play, halfway home to another perfect regular season. We'll talk some Vista Marietta versus Beaumont. We got the Bass Top 25. Aquinas versus San Jacinto. We're going to break that game down along with some of the top matchups coming up in week number 5 here on this bye week. Not everybody's playing, kind of a light version during bye week, but we still have a lot of great matchups. And RCC football and SBVC football around the corner as well. So we'll be right back here on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night. It is bye week around here, so not everybody is playing here for high school football, but it's still a busy week of high school football with some great matchups. Now, one of the teams on the bye, the Ramona Rams, they are 5-0 to start the season as they get ready to defend a River Valley League championship. And they went, remember, 10-0 during the regular season last year. Now they're halfway home to another perfect regular season at Ram High, and they've got a big-time running back in Lorenzo Sims, who stat-wise is one of the leading rushers in the entire state and the entire country right now. In large part, I mean, he's a great running back, but they've got a great offensive line as well, which that's a great recipe. Great offensive line, great running back, and you put that to complement a great defense. That's exactly what Ramona High School has this season. Here is Rams head coach Ken Mushinskie on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
I mean, you guys don't lose during the regular season. 10-0 last season, halfway there this year at 5-0 through non-league play. You guys have done a lot of things well. From what I've seen, I love your defense. You run the football. What has impressed you about your Rams this season?
Definitely our defense. we knew that we were going to be pretty good, pretty stout, and they've come to play the first 5 games. They are definitely not afraid to hit. They're very physical, and we have some speed back there. So the defense has been kind of the bright point, kind of the stability of our team, and now offense is kind of making up for some lost time. But after we played Summit in our scrimmage, Summit's always a very, very physical team. We knew that we had something there, and defense definitely has proven that is the truth. So we got through these first 5, and now we just need to head into league play with that same intensity, have offense catch up, get going again.
So no game this week. It's a bye week, right before league play. So how do you handle that? You try to give the guys a little freedom and relax a little bit, or when you're playing so well, do you just want to keep your foot on the gas and keep going?
So we kind of do both. We practice almost every day this week, helmets only. So you're a little limited on what you can do. I do a lot of install of new stuff, trick plays, a lot of special teams. And then just try to clean up the stuff that we've talked about the first half of the season that we know we need to improve on, especially O-line wise, always needs improvement, and then just keep the guys focused. And fortunately for us, we are a little banged up, like most teams are. So this week really is a good time for us to heal, to continue learning, and just try to take a step forward. That's our thing. Is anytime we practice or play, we always want to get better. We never want to take that step back. And Monday practice today, it was a little warm. It's a Monday. We're on bye week, but the kids came out. They played hard. Again, we practice during our bye week. We practice with the whole program. So it's nice to see the freshmen interacting with the varsity guys and the seniors helping out. It was a good day. It was a good Monday practice.
Well, Coach, when you guys come out of the bye week, when you open up River Valley League play, you're going to play Patriot, and they're off to a strong start as well. Without giving away your secrets, what do you think are the keys to victory to beating Patriot and opening up league play with a win?
Definitely slowing down their defense. Their defense is always very fast. They always give us problems up front, and their backers just fly around. And they run that 3-4, and they bring backers from everywhere. Offensively, they're pretty much the same Patriot team that they've always done. Coach Fowler does a great job of finding guys who can run the ball. Their offensive line is very, very well coached. They're a disciplined team, so we're going to have to come out that Friday night and play a great game.
Inland Sports.
Always love chopping it up with Coach Mush over there at Ram High. Again, the Rams are 5-0. It is a bye week for them, so no game this week, but we will still have a Friday night pep rally on Riverside TV. It will be a very special league preview show. So we'll break down all the leagues involving Riverside schools. So we'll talk, the Raincross Conference, the Big West Conference, Ivy League, River Valley League, Big West Upper and Lower. That'll be this Friday on the Friday Night Pep Rally on a Riverside TV. So less about the highlights, more about previewing the different leagues and the teams coming up as we go into league play, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. There's some leagues out there, the Sun Belt League specifically, going to be super competitive. I mean, it is wide open, which makes it fun, right? It's going to be fun to see who is going to not only win the league championship, but also the race for third place, right? To get that final automatic spot to the playoffs. So a league preview show, Riverside TV, the Friday Night Pep Rally this week. And we will have more of that interview. That was just a little bit of my interview with Coach Mushinskie at Ramona High School. You've got to watch the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV if you want to see and hear the entire interview. All right, time now for our Bass Athletics play of the week, and it's actually two plays that set up a big win for undefeated Vista Marietta.
Inland Sports.
All right, here we go. We had the highlights on the Friday Night Pep Rally, but in case you didn't see it, our Bass Athletics play of the week, Vista Marietta getting it done. Booth with the touchdown in the third quarter, and then Martinez, the interception late in the fourth quarter. Here's another look at the touchdown run by Booth to snap a 14-14 tie late in the third. Beaumont would get the football back. They would drive down the red zone, and in the final seconds, the interception by Martinez inside the 10-yard line brings it out for a little bit, and that's it. That would be the final play. 21-14, the final scores. The Broncos go into victory formation. So Vista Marietta, 21-14, a touchdown better than Beaumont. They are 4-0. Beaumont heads into the bye week with a record of 4-1. Vista Marietta, a very impressive win for them, and they've got a big game coming up, which we'll talk about in just a second. So congratulations to Vista Marietta, our Bass Athletics play of the week. Because of that big win against Beaumont and some other games that took place out there, like Cajon versus San Jacinto, for example. Roosevelt had a big win. Because of that, our Bass Top 25 poll this week looks a little bit different. Last week, not a lot of change. This week, some major changes because of some major head-to-head matchups that we had. So let's take a look at the Bass Top 25 after week number 4 going into week number 5. And a lot of these teams will have buys this week, so it's going to be hard to see a lot of changes this week, but I will say we have Cajon versus Aquinas, San Jacinto versus Aquinas coming up this week, so we'll talk about that in just a second. But Centennial at number 1, and then we are heavy on the Big West Conference schools. After Centennial, Murrieta Valley 2, Chaparral 3. Vista Murrieta climbs up to number 4, followed very closely by Norco at 5, who is 5-0. Beaumont drops from 3 to 6. This is still a very good Beaumont team, but it's hard to find a place for them in the top 5 right now because the Big West is loaded. I mean, all the Big West teams are doing really well right now. Rancho Cucamonga in at number 7. They are 1-4, but that is still a good football team. Convince me otherwise. The Jack, big win on the road at Cajon last week, so the Tigers climbed to number 8. The Cowboys will drop a little bit to number 9. And there is Aquinas at number 10. Aquinas and San Jacinto will play this week. So if you're looking for some changes in the Bass Top 25 going into next week, that game will have some big-time implications. On the other side, 11 through 25, not a whole lot of changes here. I will say Summit and Ramona still knocking on the door to get in the top 10. They are right there. Roosevelt catapults into number 19. We've been waiting for the Mustangs to make their move into the top 25. They've been on the bubble. They've been lurking out there. We finally put them in at number 19. They come in at 3-2. Moreno Valley still quietly climbing up. They're at number 21. Vikings are 4-0 on the season. And for the first time this year, Patriot cracks the top 10. They come in at 4-1. And they're getting ready for a big game against Ramona to open up River Valley League play. So I would say 20 through 25 is sometimes the hardest teams to choose each and every week because there's a lot of deserving teams. I mean, teams that are not on the top 25 that maybe should be in the top 25 are right there on the verge. Riverside Poly, Hillcrest, Temecula Valley. Maybe you could make a case for Tockwitz or Temescal Canyon. I mean, there's a lot of good teams out there. So 20 through 25, very, very difficult. But you got to, decide based on head-to-head matchups. We're going to get a lot of head-to-head matchups. They will decide on the field. So that's the good news. I see it each and every week, each and every season. Once they go head-to-head on the field, there is no more hypothetical argument. We will know. So that is the Bass Top 25 after week number 4. Now, I told you it is bye week around here. A lot of teams taking this week off. They've played their 5 non-league games. They're getting ready for league action in week number 6. But we do have some really good ones, and this one is leading the way. It'll be Aquinas taking on the Jack, San Jacinto. San Jacinto coming off that big win on the road at Jaden Daniels Stadium against the Cajon Cowboys. Can they do it again against another really good team from the city of San Bernardino? I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There are some great skill position players in this game. So at least on paper, it looks like it could be a high-scoring game. But I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards defense. Aquinas has a great defense, and San Jacinto and Cajon pretty low scoring as well the previous week. So I'm kind of leaning towards low scoring on this one. Aquinas and San Jacinto, the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week, and we will have coverage of that game as well. We will be out there. All right, so that's probably the biggest game in week number 5, involving 2 local schools going head-to-head. But we've got a couple other really big games, and I put this out on social media, and I firmly believe it. It is the IE versus everybody. Bring it on. Cajon is going on the road to Texas, taking on Permian High School, made famous by Friday Night Lights out there in Odessa. Cajon at Permian. Then it's a couple Big West schools against Orange County powerhouses. Good luck to the Nighthawks. They take on San Clemente. And good luck to Chaparral at home against Mission Viejo, the Mighty Diablos. So hopefully the Pumas and Nighthawks can pull off some big wins against Orange County schools. Indian Springs at A.B. Miller. That is actually a league game. If you are unfamiliar with the wild, wacky world of the Mountain Valley League, there's only 4 schools, but they're going to play each other twice. They each get a home game. So Indian Springs and A.B. Miller will kick off MVL action. A.B. Miller, the defending league champions, trying to get things going in the right direction to continue the revolution out there at A.B. Miller. Back to non-league play. Rancho Verde taking on Tahquitz. Tahquitz, great early season start. Rancho Verde still trying to get their first win. Great Oak and Temescal Canyon. And Grand Terrace versus Rim of the World. That is actually a Arrowhead Athletic Conference crossover game where Grand Terrace this year is in the Sun-Kissed, Rim of the World in the San Andreas. Same conference, but not a league game, one of those crossover games inside the conference. We see that similarly happening in the Raincross Conference, with the Riverside and the Moreno Valley Menifee schools, that area, and also the Big West to some degree. We saw Roosevelt take on Santiago last week, and it was Roosevelt getting the big win. So that's why Roosevelt was in our Bass Top 25 this week. That was a signature victory for the Mustangs, considering how well the Sharks have been playing this season. All right. Let's take another break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we'll talk some college football. The latest on RCC and SBVC, both teams coming off overtime losses in the previous week. So we'll talk Wolverines and Tigers when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Inland Sports.
We're talking about significant injuries to a lot of teams. We're talking about our guy Jaden Daniels, right? The pride of Cajon High School, star quarterback for the Washington Commanders, could not play this past week against the Silver and Black, the Raiders, because of a knee injury. They stick in Marcus Mariota. Dude, Marcus Mariota looked like old Marcus Mariota, circa Oregon Ducks days, right? Like, he did great as Washington beat the Raiders 41-24. So that was a big win for them as he holds down the fort for Jaden Daniels whenever he's going to come back.
That's when you have the proper backup. The backup,
Yep.
You have a plan in case something does happen. Even if you do have the young, talented Jaden Daniels. How about all those designed runs? I thought Mariota looked awesome.
Dude, Marcus Mariota, Mac Jones for my 49ers. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that have already gone to their backup. Oh, what about the Minnesota Vikings, right? J.J. McCarthy has been hurt, so they go out and put Carson Wentz, who is still in the league and still getting it done. I mean, you are right, man. You hit the nail on the head. You've got to have a backup QB because you just don't know.
The Vikings may want to consider playing Wentz, even if JJ does come back.
You know what? I mean, at least there's no rush to bring him back, right? Like, if Carson Wentz, can he do that every single week? I don't know, but he did it for one game. Finally, some baseball news, some milestones we want to talk about. Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers announcing this will be his final season, made his final regular season start this past Friday at Dodger Stadium. So the Dodgers now, when you look at the playoff picture, probably the Reds now in the wild card series because the Mets are absolutely collapsing. The Reds now have the final playoff spot, so it'd be the Dodgers the 3 seed, Cincinnati the 6 seed if the season ended today. So we'll see if Kershaw can go out on top.
Now, when we heard Kershaw kind of slip in his announcement, it felt like he just slipped it in there, before we could do the celebration of the final tour or any stuff like that. But you have to admit, how cool was that when they got to pull him off the mound and everybody gave him a hug and Dodger Stadium was able to say, you know what, Clayton, after all these years, thank you, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you. I thought that was a really cool moment. Very emotional. Even an emotional Matt Stafford in the stands watching his high school buddy Clayton Kershaw. I thought that was really cool. It just makes me love Dave Roberts even more.
Yeah, the Dodgers and Dave Roberts handled it perfectly. They gave him his moment, which is obviously well-deserved. Matt Stafford was there. Austin Barnes, our guy from Riverside Poly High School, who caught Clayton Kershaw for so many years. He was his favorite catcher. He was in attendance to be there for that special moment. Now, is Clayton going to pitch in the postseason? Yeah, the Dodgers have already clinched. He will play a role for the Dodgers. Yeah, I don't know if it's rotation or bullpen. We haven't seen the last of him quite yet. But yeah, to have that final moment at Dodger Stadium, it was very, very special. Certainly a Hall of Famer.
Very, very cool, dude, to give him kind of the heads up. And here we go to the end of the season, man. I can't believe we're here.
Inland Sports.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I was hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCal 96.7 FM, talking sports every Monday and Thursday morning, including a lot of NFL football. So we're both big NFL fans. Patrick, a Seahawks fan. I'm a 49er fan. And, of course, we talk NFC West, a lot of Chargers and Rams and all that good stuff. So every Monday and Thursday on KCal 96.7 FM. Let's talk some college football. And, man, was it a long Saturday this past Saturday for our local college teams, our junior college teams. I was at both of them. I was at RCC in the afternoon, San Bernardino Valley College on Saturday night. They were both long games. In fact, so I was doing sideline reporting for the RCC football game live on Riverside TV. I got really sunburned. In fact, I don't know if you guys can still tell. Like I'm still a little glowing in red. I'm starting to peel now. It was hot out there in the direct sun for hours. It was a noon kickoff, and of course, the game had to go to overtime. So it was a long college football game. Let's take a look at some of the video from that one. My boy Philander Lee getting himself and the Tigers fired up for this one against a tough Saddleback team. Yeah, there's a lot of history between RCC and Saddleback, and it was a great game. The Tigers, though, they had the lead. They had Saddleback, the Bobcats, on the ropes. They had a 34-20 lead in the fourth quarter. There is Dominic Cox. Massive game for the Tigers. 8 catches, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns for Dominic Cox. And as I mentioned, the Tigers were up 34-20. They were up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, only to see Saddleback come back, tie the game, and then this would be the eventual winning touchdown in overtime. 40-34, the final score. Saddleback knocks off RCC at Wheelock Stadium. So now the Tigers are 2-2 on the season, and they will take on Palomar College this coming Saturday, also at noon and live on Riverside TV. So if you cannot make it out to Wheelock Stadium to check out the Tigers, we will have it live on Riverside TV. As, RCC trying to stay above 500 on the season. We don't see that very often. Tigers are usually, maybe 0 losses or a 1-loss regular season, but right now at 2-2 as they take on Palomar on Saturday. All right, so that game went to overtime this past Saturday afternoon, and then we hustled over to San Bernardino Valley College to check on the Wolverines, and what do you know, another overtime game. It was a long day of college football. Let's check out some of the highlights between SBVC, who was 2-1 at the time, taking on Victor Valley College, the 3-0 Rams, who were having a great season. Let's take you out to Valley College, and SBVC had a great game on the ground, through the air, but big time on the ground. Jonathan Kawar, the running back for the Wolverines, 28 carries, 180 yards, and a touchdown. And quarterback, there he is, the quarterback, the ball's loose and back the other way with Victor Valley College. But the quarterback for the Wolverines also had 125 yards on the ground and a touchdown. So the Wolverines effectively moving the football in the ground game. But this high-scoring game would favor Victor Valley in the end. There is the quarterback going in for the score for SBVC. It was tied at 27 after regulation. The game would go to overtime, only to see Victor Valley win 33-27. The final score. There is head coach James Griffin with his guys. And SBVC now 2-2 on the season. Next up for them is a trip out to the desert. The Wolverines will take their 2-2 record out to Palm Desert as they will take on the College of the Desert, the Roadrunners, in the 38th playing of the Challenge Trophy game. So a rivalry game between SBVC and College of the Desert. So we'll see if the Wolverines and the Tigers can get back to their winning ways and keep their record above 500, keep it a winning record on the season. All right, again, a big thanks to our guest, certainly Matt Logan, the head football coach for the Centennial Huskies, for joining us here. We also heard from Ramona coach Ken Mushinskie. If you want the entire Coach Mush interview, you got to watch the special Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV. It's a league preview special. Not so much about the games this week and the highlights. It's going to be looking ahead to the different teams and leagues as we come out of the bye week. All right, my name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in here on the Inland Sports Show. If you made it this far, give the video a like, and please subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. We would appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy bye week. We will have some highlights, though, here on Inland Sports and also on IEMG from the games that are taking place locally for high school football in week number 5. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night and God bless.